fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Prayer. Prayer is one of the most powerful weapons we have been given as Christians, as believers in God and in Jesus. And I'll be honest, it's something I've struggled with in terms of how the heck do I pray? You know, I grew up in a Christian family and we went to church. It was an Episcopalian church, and there was a lot of prayer going on during the church service. And I'm talking about, ritualistic prayers. We've probably all heard the Lord's Prayer, right? And then that also happened because there was a lot of new believers and asked Jesus, hey, how do I pray? How do you actually talk to the God? How do you talk to your Father? And, he said, our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we may also forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. And that was in Matthew. And that's great. And I believe that was, Jesus telling us here's kind of a way to pray, not that, hey, this is what you need to do every time. And so as I became an adult and, eventually a husband and now a father to 3 kids and just a lot more going on in my life, I found myself like not really knowing how to pray. It was almost like awkward and uncomfortable because all I had was these memorized prayers from growing up. And, C12, I've mentioned them quite a bit. It's the Christian business, really just kind of a leadership. I call it a mastermind group, but it's business leaders who we meet once a month. And there's 12 of us in a room. And just talk about life, what's going on in our lives and our company's lives, and obviously ways that we can grow and ways that we can use our businesses like Salt Strong, like I'm doing here with this Unchurched, to use it for ministry. It's the whole business as a ministry, and I've learned a lot about it, and they've really kind of pushed me and stretched me, if you will, in terms of how I pray. And I just want to share some things that have really seemed to work well for me, where I feel like I'm communicating better with God, and I'm being heard. And like I said, if you go into prayer thinking that anything you ask for is just going to happen right away, that you're going to be upset and probably a little bit let down. And that is, that's the beauty of God, right? He's constantly working behind the scenes in our lives. And that's part of what faith is all about. And that's part of what praying is about. It's about believing and trusting that what you do ask for might not happen exactly as you see it. And it's certainly not going to happen on the exact same day and same time that you think it will. But every single time that I've just trusted and I've told God in my prayer that I trust Him, I feel like things just keep working out. It's really, really wild. So I'm going to share with you what has really worked well for me. And this is after reading a bunch of, things on it and watching videos on how different people pray and just being a part of a lot of prayers. And so, to start, number one is, just like you're talking to anyone, address them, dear God or dear Lord, dear Heavenly Father, Lord God. I use all of those, and right out of the way, address them. And I always start by giving thanks. And this kind of follows the same, the same overall theme, if you will, of the Lord's Prayer. It's just, to flat out just thank Him for everything going on. I usually thank Him for protection and just love and forgiveness. And overall, favor in our lives. And I also talk about just people I'm grateful for in general, from my wife and my coworkers and and obviously kids and parents and in-laws and all the amazing people in my life that have an impact on it. Sometimes it's someone who makes it in just for a day that did something really, really nice for me. But I always start by giving thanks. And then I just start asking for things that I need help with. Things like patience sometimes, especially if I've had a long day with the kids. Like the other day when we drove home from the beach on a couple hours, and they were animals, literally, and I was about to lose it. So I pray for things like patience and strength and wisdom, things that you just want to work on. And then a lot of times I'll get really, really specific on things that are on my mind. I'm now pretty much every single morning, I'm praying for Salt Strong and just favor over our company and the people who work there. That not that we all make millions of dollars. It's more about just making an impact. I know that if we make an impact, we all are going to do extremely well financially. And the old Zig Ziglar, if you want to get everything that you want, help enough other people get what they want. And so that's really the big theme at Salt Strong, is just helping as many anglers get what they want, which is catching fish and creating memories with their loved ones and saving time and saving money. And so that's our big mission over there. And so I pray every single morning that God just shines down on us, and that we're a shining light for really the whole industry, and that we can continue to make a massive, massive impact. And then I'll pray for very specific things that are just on my mind right then and there. I'm not going to go into real deep examples, but just anything going on in my personal life and the family life and the company life, just things that I want to pray over. Like we had to let someone go not too long ago, and spend a lot of time, about a week or so every morning, just talking about that and praying for really all parties. It's never fun when you have a breakup like that. It's the same thing if you're going through a breakup in relationships or issues with your loved ones. I don't think you can ever outpray God. Same with the giving, right? You just can't outgive God. I don't think there's ever a way that you can outpray or ask enough times. I think repetition is really, really key. And I usually talk about just how much I trust Him and love Him. I felt like every time I do that, I don't know if it's just my mindset or what, but I don't know, this seems to, when I do that in the morning, I seem to just have like this peace and calmness about me when I'm not just thinking through it, but writing it down. And that was a big topic we had in one of our C12 meetings was, how many of us are writing it down. And ever since I decided to do that, and I'm talking about, like getting a little diary or journal, whatever you want to call it, but just writing it down, there is something about slowing your mind down. And instead of just talking about it or praying, in your head, where you can probably speak 300 words a minute if you wanted to go really fast. But there's something really neat about taking a pen to a pad of paper and just slowing your mind down and being very deliberate about what you're asking for. And ever since I started doing that, which has probably been about a year now, every single morning without fail, I feel like my relationship has grown. I do feel like more prayers have been answered. And I don't know, it's tough to put words on it, but I use that word magic a lot. I feel like there's been more magic in my life, and that's, God's love. When I started doing that and writing it down, just journaling to Him, just He and me, and I could burn Him if I want to down the road and do whatever I want with Him. But it's been pretty cool to have kind of that private one-on-one relationship and writing to Him every single morning. And then a lot of times I'll also just ask for other forgiveness. I'll pray for friends. I'll pray for any other things that are going on in our life, or any other prayer requests that have been sent to me. Ever since I started doing these podcasts, and I shared a lot about the anxiety attacks and the panic attacks, and I get emails, and you guys keep them coming. I mean, it means a lot to me when I know people are actually listening to these things and getting some value from them. And I pray for those people. So know that any of you who've asked me for any kind of prayer request, I'm praying for you guys. And then finally, I end it and just, I ask for overall favor and love and even abundance. I think so many people maybe get shy saying, I don't want to ask for too much. And that doesn't mean you ask for like a Maserati or anything. But I just ask for overall abundance. That doesn't mean money. That's just abundance in everything. That was our word in 2020. For those that heard that episode I did, that was kind of our family word, was just overall abundance of family time and abundance of love. And it did. We had one of the most just amazing years, even through all the COVID stuff. I felt like as a family, we became tighter than ever before. We slowed down our lives. We weren't doing any travel, so we were just spending a whole lot more time together. And it was, I mean, I feel bad saying this because I know it wasn't the same for everyone, but 2020 was the most abundant year I've ever had in my 42 years on this earth. And my wife would say the same thing. And that means all aspects of life, not just money. Just a really, really amazing and special year for us. So I asked for all that stuff and then just kind of close it out. And like I said, to me, and this would be my challenge to you if you made it this far, if you're already doing some of this stuff, and the one thing I hear from most people that they're not doing is writing it down. Just try it. Try it for 30 days, even if it's just short and sweet. Just try it out and see what happens. I'm just telling you, something crazy happened the second that I started doing that and writing it down. So that's my challenge to you. I hope this was a good one. Hopefully it was helpful, because I've had quite a few people who have asked, and I know this is something that I've struggled with. I still struggle with it, and there's been times where I'm lost for words, if you can believe that, because I'm usually quite talkative. But there's been times I sit there and I just stare at the pad of paper, and I'm like, I don't even know what to pray for. And there's days where it just flows like crazy, where I could probably write a whole page just speaking to God. But that's the beauty of it. It is a really, really powerful weapon. It is something that we can never do enough. And don't be stingy with it. Don't be stingy with your prayers. I mean, ask for what you're really needing. Ask for what your friends are needing. Ask for what your loved ones are needing. It can never hurt. But just always know that He's listening, and that always know He's working behind the scenes. Sometimes you're not going to see it, but every single day, every single hour, every single minute, there are miracles going on all around us. Some that we get to see and are very evident, and some that we never even know about, like, a car avoiding us in terms of an accident. There were so many little miracles that I've just had like a glimpse out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, wow, like someone was watching me over me today. So hope that was good, guys. I really appreciate you. Love you. Stay tuned for more. And of course, you can see all the past episodes at saltstrong.com/unchurched. We out.
'Cause fishing, it's in